What's up, Browns fans? It is finally here. It's game week. We're talking football. We are getting ready for preseason week one. It's not really regular season, but hey, we're going to watch the game this Saturday because the Browns are in Jacksonville. So shout out your favorite place in Cleveland or wherever you are to watch Browns games. Who's got the coldest beer? Who's got the best wings? Put it down in the comments section, and let's get the show started by talking about where you are going to be watching Browns this Saturday. Browns training camp has been going on for a while. We know the stories there. We know who's rising and falling, but now it's about putting it to the test, right? Now it's not about the practice reps. You know, who can do well in practice? That doesn't tell a ton because it all comes down to Sunday, or in this case, Saturday. So, Saturday-wise, who are we keeping an eye on for the first preseason game against the Jaguars on the road? I've got 3 names picked out for you guys for who you may want to look a little closer at to see how they're doing, if the practice skills and the practice glowing praises are going to translate to the actual gridiron. And let's get started with the rookie. That's right, Greg Newsome. First-year guy out of Northwestern, got taken 26 overall back in the 2021 NFL Draft. And he's talking big game, and not about himself. No, he's talking big game about the Browns. He attributes a lot of his success to the strength of this wide receiver room. And honestly, can you blame him? I mean, look who's in it. It's loaded. You got OBJ. You've got Landry. When you've got Donovan Peoples-Jones vying for a third wide receiver spot where a lot of teams he'd be a 2, you know there's a lot of good things going on here. And he's also splitting time at outside corner and in the slot. He's making himself a very useful chess piece. You can put him wherever you want. And here's what he had to say going into the first preseason game. Going against some of the best receivers in the NFL on this team is just going to grow my confidence every single day. Every single day, I'm having a humbling moment. We're going against some of the best guys in the world, so every single day I get beat sometimes. And yeah, can you blame him for getting beat a couple times here and there when you're competing against Jarvis Landry, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rashard Higgins, and pretty soon it's going to be OBJ once he gets full clearance. But let's check out where Newsome ranks right now in the cornerback depth chart. Denzel Ward, CB1, lockdown, double lock it, triple lock it, I don't care. He's there. Next, this is where it gets interesting. Greedy Williams, he's the incumbent. You think he's going to have the spot pretty much locked up, but we don't know yet. Greg Newsome has been battling for that second spot because Troy Hill, they just signed him from the LA Rams this past offseason. So you would think you're going to bring him in, you're going to pay him, you want to get him on the field. So can Newsome take that CB2 spot from Greedy Williams? That's the big battle, and that's what I want to watch against the Jaguars on Saturday. You know, Greg Newsome, can he really compete at the high level against the opposing team and not just in practice, or is Greedy Williams going to hang on to his spot? You guys let me know. Pop down in the comments. I want you to type W if you think Greedy Williams can hang on to CB2, or type N if Greg Newsome is going to take that spot and all of a sudden become one of the starters for week 1 of the regular season and not just the preseason. Moving on, let's talk about the offensive side of things. That's right, tight end Harrison Bryant, under the radar guy maybe, currently 3rd on the tight end depth chart, but he's been doing really well. You look at training camp, you follow some of those deep beat reporters. Some of the names they're bringing up is Harrison Bryant. He's coming up once or twice or even more than that. Started 9 games last season as a rookie, but he really picked up steam at the end of the season. A third of his receptions came in the last 3 games of the season. I mean, these aren't glowing numbers right here. It says 14 touchdowns. That's 4 touchdowns, or else he'd be really starting. But he's been having a dynamite season, preseason and training camp for the Cleveland Browns. So really interesting to watch what's going to be coming of Harrison Bryant. You know, what's his ceiling going to be this season, because he's a guy that has been working hard. In fact, you look at the preseason here and what he's been doing, building up into it. He put on 13 pounds of good weight. Not the kind of weight we're doing here with beer and wings watching the Brownies on Saturdays and soon Sunday. 13 muscle pounds, good pounds. And he attribute a lot of that success and a lot of that motivation to J.J. Watt, actually. In fact, he had this great quote where he talked about going into the season. He talked about, he remembered going back to last year who he was lining up against. And he lined up against J.J. Watt and thought, that's a humongous dude. I got to get bigger. And so that's what he did. Put on 13 pounds, and now he's having a great preseason. So let's talk about the tight end room a little bit. Who's going to have the best preseason? You know, through the next 3 games, who do you think will shine of that tight end room? Will it be Austin Hooper, who got that big contract last offseason? David Njoku, the former first-round pick, or Harrison Bryant, the second-year guy out of FAU? Let me know. If you think Austin Hooper, put AH in the comments. If it's Njoku, DN, or if it's HB, you put HB. Just put it down in the comments and let me know who you guys think will have the best preseason of the tight ends. If you love the Browns, if you enjoy these videos, go down, subscribe, give us a subscription, and that way we can give you more Browns content. I'm talking post-game recap for this Saturday against the Jaguars. I'm talking winners and losers. We're talking everything here. So go down, subscribe if you love the Browns, if you love the Browns Report, and we'll get you more Browns content, which, come on, it's football season. You know, the Indians, or I can't even really call them the Indians anymore, the Guardians, it's just not as fun when football gets around. No offense to them. So subscribe. Get more Browns content. All right, moving on here. We're staying on the offensive side for players to watch for in the first preseason game. You've heard this name a million times, but can you hear it enough? I don't think so. Donovan Peoples-Jones has just been brilliant. I mean, simply put, he may be getting some first-time reps this preseason game because OBJ most likely is not going to play in that first preseason game. He's still getting back to full speed after tearing his ACL last season. Landry, I don't even know if Kevin Stefanski will let him tie his shoes. I mean, what's the point? He'll probably get a series or 2, but it's going to be a lot of Rashard Higgins and Donovan Peoples-Jones getting a lot of reps with that first team. So you check out the depth chart here. Let's go through it. Like I said, OBJ probably not going to play much. I don't think so. Landry, maybe a series or 2, but it'll be Higgins and Donovan Peoples-Jones. Anthony Schwartz, the rookie from Auburn, the speedster, he's a little banged up. You got Hodge, who's trying to make the roster. We'll touch on that later. But yeah, he's going to get plenty of time with the first team guys. So Donovan Peoples-Jones will get a chance to really showcase what he's been building up to so far in the preseason at training camp. And let's check out some of the social media posts about him because it has been glowing, guys. I mean, it's really hard not to hype the camp around Donovan Peoples-Jones is having. It really is trying to maintain perspective, but he shows up multiple times per day. It just keeps coming. I mean, you look on to what the AP is saying. There's a wide receiver at Browns training camp grabbing attention, and it's not Odell Beckham Jr. Donovan Peoples-Jones has been Cleveland's most impressive offensive player so far this camp. Everyone talks about him. You check out Brown's Twitter, training camp, it's all about DPJ. So I need you guys to let me know something. Is DPJ the training camp MVP? I'm trying to think of who else could rival him. Jadeveon Clowney on the defensive side for sure, but I think so far it's been all DPJ. So let me know. Pop down in the comments. Type Y for yes if you think he is. Type N for no if you've got someone else in mind maybe. But yeah, DPJ for sure has been the go-to guy and has been the training camp bright spark, catalyst, whatever you want to fill it in, that's what he's been. All right, coming up next, let's talk about this Saturday a little more. Kevin Stefanski's getting a little love, and it's because he's going to pass the love. He's going to share the love. Various play callers will take effect for the first Browns preseason game. He wants to give everyone some reps, including offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt, AVP, and others will get a chance to call maybe a series or 2, get some play calling in down the stretch in that game. This is the reigning AP Coach of the Year. I'm going to trust him. I think Stefanski knows what he's doing if he can win a playoff game from his couch. Here's what Stefanski had to say, though. There are certain guys I want them to know what it feels like to call plays. So maybe in the second to last series in the fourth quarter, let somebody get some reps. So this is interesting to see, without a doubt, Kevin Stefanski letting AVP, who, by the way, had a chance to get some real play calling action in. You look at the history here of other people in the Browns organization and coaching staff getting a chance to call plays. How about this past playoff game? Browns go to the Steelers, and what do? They knock off Pittsburgh in the wild card game. And in the wild card game, Stefanski's not there. So who's calling the plays? AVP, the offensive coordinator. And so plenty of other Browns coaches have had a chance, but it's a bit duck, duck, goose coaching here. You know what I'm talking about? They're going to pass the headset around. They're going to give it to other coaches to give a shot at, and that'll be fun to watch throughout the preseason of what kind of style, what kind of flares, who wants to attack first downs this way, the X's and O's, who wants to call a run on 2nd and 7, all that fun. But how about this, guys? You be the coach. What play would you call if Kevin Stefanski pointed to you in the seats or called you off your couch and said, hey, let me know what you think we should do here? What play would you call? I'm trying to think myself. I mean, a flea flicker is like a pretty obvious one, right? Everyone loves a little razzle-dazzle. I'll tell you what, I'm not doing a draw. I mean, that's just the most boring thing you could do. But what would you guys call? Put it down in the comments. Let me know. And now our last note here, injured Browns. Let's check out who's a little banged up, get you guys updated on everything. So Myles Garrett is out with a hamstring right now, missed practice yesterday on Tuesday. David Njoku currently with a shoulder injury. Anthony Walker, this is good news, guys, went out with a knee injury last week. He's already returning doing individual drills, so that's very positive for the Browns. Denzel Ward, he's currently doing a contract extension negotiation, so he's sitting out soreness. I mean, it doesn't really matter. If it was a regular season game, he'd be playing. And Grant Delpit, this is the hamstring injury that's just going around the entire Browns training camp. Everyone's picking up some bad hammies, so I think they're just being a little extra cautious here. But Myles Garrett, that's the big one here. So here's what Mary Kay had to say. Myles Garrett is one of the Browns players dealing with hamstring injuries. Other safeties, Grant Delpit and Ronnie Harris Jr., also dealing with those hamstring injuries. So, like I said, it's just kind of going around camp right now. But, hey, here's what you got to know. There's not much to panic about at all, if there really is any to panic. But he missed practice with a hamstring injury. Check through his injury log. No recorded injury in the past. I think the Browns are just being very cautious here. They don't want to push it or risk anything because why would you? I mean, it's early August, so let him sit out. Let him get healthy. If it was regular season, I think he'd be out there. But, hey, how are you guys feeling? What do you think? What's your panic level over Garrett? Scale it for me, 1 to 10. 1, not at all. I mean, I'm not going to lose a wink of sleep. And 10, oh my God, sound the alarms. The season's over. I pray you're not above a 4. I mean, no one likes to see their star player pop up on the injury list, but hey, it's a 1 to 3 range here for me. Preseason week 1 is upon us, guys. It's this Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time. The Browns go to Jacksonville. Hey, we get to see Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, get to see their debuts. But, yeah, the Browns coming off that great 11-5 season. Jaguars, not so much, but it's preseason. So, honestly, win or lose, it's not going to really matter much. The players, of course, the coaches, they're competitors. But I'm really watching those individual battles. Greg Newsome, Harrison Bryant, Donovan Peoples-Jones, everyone else in the mix there trying to make the roster, those roster bubble guys. That's what you're watching for. But, hey, it's preseason week 1. So you know what, guys? Go down, subscribe, like this video, comment before, and get us all the subscriptions we can get so we can give you all the Browns content you watch as you want as we roll through the preseason and into the regular season.